I would now like to introduce the Suicide Response Project. It gives me great pleasure for this introduction. I'm one of the lead researchers in this project, along with Dr. Karina Chan, Dr. Darren Headley, Dr. Josie Barbaro, Mick Lay, along with some of the sponsors who've helped us to produce high quality, accessible resources that aim to empower the community, friends and family to recognise anyone who's at risk of suicide and to respond, including if they're autistic, with some extra information. So check it out. Before we start this video, and Professor Cheryl will introduce this for us, I would just like to read out an acknowledgement. So we acknowledge and remember all persons lost to us because of suicide, as well as the people left behind. We acknowledge the enduring suffering that suicide brings and the complex emotions and experiences of all people who have contemplated suicide. We acknowledge that those with lived experience can provide hope, resilience, and support to those at risk. So that completes my acknowledgements. Today we have about equal numbers of clinicians, researchers, and people with lived experience joining us. So I'd like to especially thank those with lived experience who are here today. So over to you, Cheryl, to introduce the Suicide Response Project.
Hello, I'm Professor Cheryl Dissanayake, Director and Chair of the Olga Tennyson Autism Research Centre at La Trobe University. I am delighted today to launch the Suicide Response Project, which was co-developed by researchers at La Trobe University, together with those with direct experience of suicidal ideation. I know that this important initiative will serve to empower bystanders to recognize and respond to people contemplating suicide. Please join me in promoting this very important initiative. Thank you.
The Suicide Response Project is being launched 9th of December 2021 at the Australian Society for Autism Research Conference on Mental Wellbeing and Suicide Prevention in Autism. The Suicide Response Project was developed to empower people in the community to better respond to suicide risk in others, similar to a first aid course. Half of people who consider suicide have no diagnosed mental illness, instead experiencing severe situational stress. Up to 90% of them communicate their distress in some way. 75% of bystanders do nothing due to fear and hoping someone else will help. The Suicide Response Project aims to reduce community inaction. It has been developed by a team of researchers at La Trobe University and is co-designed by people with lived experience. It also includes information about suicide prevention that is directly relevant to autistic and LGBTIQA+ people. Visit www.suicideresponseproject.com to learn more.
Awesome, thank you so much, Cheryl. So I do encourage everyone to check out this new project. You can find it at www.suicideresponseproject.com. It's for the average person, so not for clinicians, but for people to recognise who's at risk and respond in a helpful way. And I think Lisa Morgan later, who we'll hear from, is going to talk about how often family and friends and schools mean well, but they can make it worse. So this project is all about responding in a helpful way.